Hey there, thanks for joining us at the Rabbit Hole of Research, where you'll learn a few facts that you can impress your friends with at a party.
Hey, welcome back to the Rabbit Hole of Research down here in the basement studio. We are all crewed up down here. Even got a guest in studio.
Everyone, every chair is filled.
Every chair, every mic. This is the place to be. You've got me, Joe.
Yeah, I got Nick.
We've got Nick.
Georgia.
We've got Georgia.
We got Mary.
We've got Mary and our very special guest.
Tara.
We got Tara.
You're changing your
That's
voice?
it. Yeah, right.
Wow. You have to
It's
keep
like
that
my
up for the whole
cheerleader.
episode.
Hello, Tara.
Tara,
Whole episode has
what
to
do
be
you,
like that.
I mean, what's your
You have to introduce
credentials and
yourself.
things like that? Yeah.
Well, everybody should know me if they've listened to the podcast
She's been
before.
a guest before.
That is a returning guest.
Oh,
But there
no.
may be someone
That
else.
is true. I mean, God forbid you didn't like Doctor Who and you skipped my episode. I might forgive you.
Who's the best doctor?
It's
Top
hard.
three.
Top three would be
If you don't say Eccleston,
2,
you're going to
9,
be wrong.
and 10.
There
All
you go.
right.
You heard it there. And go
There we
back
go.
and listen to the episode. Yeah, Tara
Yeah.
was a guest with us before last season.
Yeah.
Or 2 seasons
Okay,
ago.
but we-
I think
but
it was
we
2
need-
I don't
season.
know.
We
Yeah, it
need
was a
your
little bit seasons
rundown
ago.
again.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm
a lot of stuff.
Tara. I'm a scientist. I am a cell biologist and electron microscopist. I get to see Joe 5 days a week at work,
Oh, boy.
and he doesn't hate me yet, so it's great.
All right.
And you got a PhD.
I do have a PhD
And-
in molecular medicine.
And in our facility,
And how
I
Tara.
am the assistant director.
and how
Well, you're the
long
lab
have you
safety
guys
Oh, I
director
am
also,
also,
right? I
the
mean,
lab
that's,
safety director.
how
Dun,
long
dun,
have you guys
dun.
worked together?
Officially worked or sort of worked in the lab worked? Because we've worked in the lab worked for like 19
Yeah.
years
I was on
because Joe
Tara's,
is on my
yeah,
thesis committee.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But we've worked. Actually, my work anniversary is coming up May 15th.
Anniversary.
It'll be 9 years.
Wow.
All right. Congrats.
Very
Thank
cool.
you.
Here, cheers. Here
Yep.
we go.
Cheers tonight.
to
Cheers.
everybody. Oh, you know what? We should have had the world's
Cheers.
second strongest beer.
Well, that's okay.
I'm
We're
okay
having
with
some
that, buddy.
kinetics.
This one's 8.5. It's fine.
Yeah. What is
that's,
this? Equilibrium.
Equilibrium.
I mean, I
Very
have
good.
to be
It has
able
a
to
very
drive
cool-
home.
Yeah, that's
It has a very cool label.
Yep.
and-
And every cup in this studio is filled with it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, well,
That's
today
right.
we're
Consistent.
We're on
we are
balance.
consistent. Yeah, we're going to be
Don't know what the
talking
right
about.
word was.
This is part 1 of the Spider-Man villain series.
Yes.
And we're going to kick it off with lab safety because I think that's important to the Spider-Man universe.
And
as
Tara's
we'll see.
I mean, 100%.
Very qualified.
That's right.
since-
She is the lab
I'm
safety.
very qualified to talk
Yes.
about lab safety. I am
Yes.
probably less qualified to talk about Spider-Man
That's all
villains.
right.
That's okay.
We'll be there.
we got you covered, right, Nick?
We got
Who's
Nick.
Spider-Man?
What's a villain?
I only know
Who's your
Spooderman,
favorite Spider-Man in the movies?
Spooderman.
'Cause that's-
Holland.
Holland? Nice.
All right.
Hands down.
I agree.
Yeah. He just brings the whole package of Spider-Man to the screen.
I like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing. I got no beef with him.
I was kind of sad I didn't get invited to the wedding, but
Oh, you were? I didn't know you were holding out for that one.
right,
You didn't get your invite?
I didn't.
Did you check your spam?
Yeah, right. That's where it was at.
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah. Let me do my bit, and then we can.
Bit it up.
I go. So yeah. So I do my little monologues. Everyone know if you're just listening.
It's like I'm at work all over again.
He does this all day, doesn't he? No, let me start with the
Busted.
list.
I do have a list, though. I do have lists this episode. Us humans are curious creatures. We question, poke, and taste things. We are drawn to picking up the weird rock, the strange mushroom, the glowing beetle, and we experience and discover the world through our senses. And that curiosity is the scientist in us all, asking what would happen if. But isn't there a saying about curiosity and a cat? The warnings are baked into sayings and the oldest stories we tell, but we would ignore them every time because the wanting to know is louder than the warning. Modern research, laboratory safety, and regulations didn't kill that instinct. It just built a system around it. Protocols, peer review, safety cabinets, training seminars, ethics boards, institutional reviews. These are all guardrails around curiosity's most dangerous quality, the compulsion to find out what happens next. But fiction tears all of that down. Because drama lives in the moment, someone decides to hand-wave him the guardrails. Norman Osborn, Otto Octavius, Kurt Connors skip straight from what if to let's find out. And we love them for it because some part of us understands that impulse completely. Nick, don't be licking those weird rocks.
You
Is
were
that
supposed
the
to
title
bring
of
some
this
in.
episode?
And as you explore the world, remember what Jeff Goldblum, the Rabbit Hole of Research Award winner, said in Jurassic Park. They were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. And curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction, or should I say lab safety, brought it back.
So
Or did it?
I have so many things already.
I thought you were
First
going
off-
to talk
We're
about the
bringing
other
things back from
Jeff
the dead.
Goldblum.
This is
Yes.
a great episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so with lab safety, we wouldn't have Spider-Man, right?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Spider-Man probably is the original lab safety violation comic. I mean, it's so many things wrong. And Tara and I, we go through so many trainings. So one
Yes.
class, they were all minors going through a lab. So there's all sorts of, kind of paperwork. Parents are notified. Radioactive spiders were loose. So not only do you have poor animal management, which we'll probably get into that, you also have radioactive kind of training. So that's a double, 2 violations right there. Escape experiment. No one noticed anything. No one reported anything. He just went home. He kind of slept it off. No one told the parents. I mean, it was just really
That's because he doesn't have parents.
I was going to say,
So,
or
yeah.
they
Yeah, Joe, that's really callous of you.
right?
Well, I mean, it's his parental supervisors. Let's
Right.
say that. Yeah.
His
I mean,
caregiver.
but no one told all the other kids. I mean, how we know some of those other kids didn't get bit by spiders? If
One
one
of them
spider was
did.
out right. So yeah. So it's
One of them did, and that was
yeah.
At that
Silk.
point, you don't know if anything was contagious, human
Yep.
to human.
So there's trainings that we have that are required to work in a lab, and we complain about it because they're pretty much the same every year after you do it the first time. It's just like refreshers, but you just get a ton of alerts, and it's like, take your refresher. And that's from everything from lab stuff to dealing with minors in
Mandated
spaces, right?
reporter
Yep, so-
training.
yep.
I was going to say gun safety, but not quite gun safety.
no, it's the
because you guys
Active
use guns.
shooting.
active shooter. Yeah,
at
active
Oh, yeah.
shooter.
the
Right.
cells, right?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
gotta-
You guys are just sitting there.
Well, our
Let's see if I can
microscope
hit it.
actually does have a gun.
Yeah. So Spider-Man really set it up, and I think you have Stan Lee. I don't know if he knew that, but he really wrote cases for the scientific regulation and guardrail. I think almost every villain in Spider-Man. I
Well,
got a whole list of it.
it is
Where
not-
you go?
It is the
Any
perfect.
science-based villain.
Yeah. Right.
Because-
Oh, there's a few. Right.
Mysterio isn't a scientist,
Yeah.
and he's not.
It's the perfect setting for
Yeah.
something like this to
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
You can
Yeah.
explain away so many things.
You can.
so-
Yeah.
Right. But you have the Lizard, you have Electro, Sandman, Dr. Octopus, the Green Goblin, Vulture. And Vulture was kind of stolen alien
was-
tech,
yeah.
but still there was no regulation there. He was just doing some stuff in his garage.
Can I share a sweet Spider-Man story?
Sure.
My nephew, when he was a little boy, he had to have an MRI at one point, and he was very excited about this because he thought that this would give him special powers like Spider-Man. He
That
was
me
very
every
excited.
time I had to go to the doctor.
It's like, stay
Yeah.
really
What can I start
still if
licking?
you want.
He was so into it because he was
How is
thinking
Nick
maybe
still
through this,
alive?
like,
don't know.
yeah.
My dad asked the same
So,
question.
A shout out to my sweet nephew
Yeah,
Bridger.
definitely.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spider-Man, no, I think Spider-Man, that's why we're doing a series. I think he is one of the most popular characters in comic book.
Absolutely.
Maybe Superman.
I think it goes
Wonder
Spider-Man,
Woman, right? I mean, that would be
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably those three.
Yeah.
Batman is okay. Yeah,
In
Has there
pop
been
culture,
has there been a vote?
probably.
probably.
We'll have it in the
We'll see.
footnotes.
Yeah,
They
the show
didn't
notes.
They didn't ask me, so
Well, who do you have? What's your ranking?
That one with the face. That one other. I think it's
rich
a woman,
one.
right?
oh, stop it!
Yeah.
I
The one
love-
without parents.
I have-
Definitely the one without
Yeah.
parents.
No
I have
parents.
to say Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
She was involved in no lab safety incidences, so she was
that's
a non.
right. Because she
So,
was from
that's
a
right.
very highly intelligent other planet, which
No.
was yeah.
Planet?
Planet. No,
No.
like the Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, she was Amazonian.
Earth.
Yeah. Like it was like an isolated
Oh yeah, that's
Atlantis.
Superman.
Thucydides or
Superman,
something?
right?
Yeah. So I want to bring this. I want to sort of pivot a little bit. So I want to tap
Please
into the. So
Jordy's like,
I want to
pivot.
get the heck away from this. To pivot from Spider-Man and Tim back into your subject matter expertise. What is a safe lab? What are some characteristics of a safe lab?
A safe lab will be clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have no razor blades. That is probably the biggest thing we have to look
That's
for.
right,
A
sharps.
rogue
'Cause you
razor
use
blade.
Oh, so just not
razor
laying
blades
around.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Is
So
that
you're
a
saying my
thing?
house is
That
very...
is a thing.
That's the thing, like with razor blades laying around. Really interesting.
I mean, do you
They
have
cut
like
everything.
do you
Oh,
have
okay.
like a special box like sharps like you do
So
in the hospital?
when you're done, you're supposed to put them in
Yeah.
the sharps, but you shouldn't leave them around because if someone doesn't know that the razor blade's there, then they're going to grab it and cut themselves.
Ooh, yeah.
That's
Oh, man, I'd be a major problem.
Labels.
Everything should be labeled appropriately. If it's flammable, it should be in a flammable cabinet. There's only a certain amount that you can keep out of the flammable cabinet.
Okay.
Acids and bases should be separated and away from the flammable material.
sounds like
No
a lot
food
of
or
fun
drink.
could happen.
No food or drink.
No
A lot of-
cosmetics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this is
No-
going to sound weird.
No shorts. No open-toed shoes.
Right.
These all just sound like kitchen safety rules, too.
In a way.
Probably,
Except
yeah.
Like,
you're probably more apt to die in the lab than the kitchen.
Well.
I
Well,
don't
maybe
know.
not the
You
way
haven't
Nick
Yeah,
seen
right,
Nick.
right. Maybe Nick does it. It's like, it's a challenge. Let's
Wow.
do it. Let's go.
I've had some really close calls, guys.
Yeah.
I've had bacon grease just go down my arm.
Right.
Perfectly fine, though. Look
You
at that.
don't even have a scar.
Nothing.
I feel like the biggest
Because
rule for Nick
science.
is
The big rule for Nick.
don't put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
No, that's what you're supposed to do.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like, as I said, you guys were supposed to
been
supply
warned
me
about
rocks
this.
today.
You were
I
warned.
know he's coming. So yeah. But yet some of these.
That'll be a special feature, and we'll do video.
Oh, it'll be behind a paywall.
There you go.
He doesn't. If he's no longer on the episodes, we have a new co-host. You know what happened.
Right.
He's growing superpowers.
Well, and so I want to hold on, I want to take a little step back, then we can come back. But the rock bit actually stems from, I forget which episode.
It
Was the I think the telekinesis episode.
That was
I think that was it.
season 1, right?
But what was interesting is I did all the research for that, and I don't think I forget who was on that show with us, the guest. But it was like the original Superman, and so Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster, when they were teenage boys, they created Superman that we know. But the original Superman they created was a short story in a sci-fi zine called Science Fiction: The Advanced Guard of Future Civilization, and they made it on their high school copy machine in 1933. It was a zine, if you think of that. And Superman wasn't this hero; he was this bald, telepathic villain that was going around like getting his way.
At what point do we say that can't be the same
And so-
person?
Right? It's not. And so the
But it
thing
does set up
was,
Lex Luthor.
this professor, the scientist, finds this meteor, he analyzes it, and then he starts testing on lab animals with no regulation and sees these strange effects. And he goes, you know what? I should test this on a human. So this story in 33, I remember that's Great Depression time. So he goes to a soup line and he offers some guy a suit and a meal if he will lick the rock or ingest it. I did read it in the comics. It's actually behind Tera. And he goes, and there was no consent that this rock could do something weird to you, or he just mixes it. I think he didn't even mix it in his food. It was like a whole weird
it was
thing.
the hot
It was
meal.
like, yeah, right,
It
the
was
hot
a
meal.
stone soup.
And then this guy, he gets the telepathic powers, and then he just goes around. He's like, I can dominate the world. And then the scientist is jealous because he gave all of the rock. He used it all. And now he's trying to make new
well, that's
more.
not very smart.
And yeah, and then
Gonna
he
keep any of it?
goes.
Yeah.
And
to
so,
test?
but he kills the scientist, and then the power wears off, and he needs more of the rock. But
Yeah,
the scientist
I
is
know
dead,
that,
and he
yeah.
can't get it, and so then he has to return to the bread line in a fancy suit. So that was the story.
But he has a fancy suit, is the moral of the
Yeah,
story.
he might have sold it like to get in the bread line. I
Hey.
don't know. So,
So,
but that was the original
not gonna
Superman
lie.
story.
when you first started telling the story, before the superpowers part came up, that could have been a real life scenario.
Oh,
Because
No,
sadly, that's the
now-
other
Yeah.
outside of the lab, but
Yeah.
human research and the horrors of that.
Oh yeah, there's
And
been a lot of
the
Well,
relations of even
unethical-
that. And so anytime you're doing even human research, now you have even more trainings
Here it is.
On-
The
yeah.
Reign of the Superman. I'm
Okay,
holding
Joe-
the copy of it.
yeah, Joe
well, not the
is
original
holding-
copy because that's like worth like
He's
$500,000.
holding,
I got a facsimile of it.
You're holding a comic? Or
Yeah, it's the zine that they had written.
The
Wanna check it out?
original
It's a
zine
rep-
that
Yeah.
Siegel and Schuster
yeah.
did.
It's a replica
Oh.
of that I found. It had that story because I didn't believe it either. I think it was like, are you real? I'm like, yeah, I did this research and this came up, and no one talks about this story, which is kind of
Well, I think it's good they went a different way.
yes, they went, with an immigrant.
I don't know.
that
I
has
think it would have been
superpowers.
more
From
popular
another
going this
planet.
From
route.
another planet, right?
Unlike
And no
Other
lab safety
super-
violations. It's just there's some maybe adoption law violations, but other than that, that's
I mean, if you're coming from another planet, how many laws?
it's like a brother from another planet.
Where do you come from?
How many people get that?
Tara does not.
It's a movie.
Oh,
you
Yeah.
haven't seen that?
no.
Oh,
Retreat. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not. Yeah.
I
It's,
think
it's-
the only movie I've seen with the word brother in it might be Undercover Brother.
okay.
Any similarities?
No. Brother from Another Planet isn't a comedy. It has comedic bits, but it's social commentary for the most part.
yeah.
When did it come out?
Late 80s, I'm going to say. Somewhere in that ballpark. Maybe early 90s.
80s, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That feels right. But yeah, like Tara was saying, we have these kind of guidelines because human experimentation through time, people, they do weird things. We have the Nazi medical experiments.
Yep.
The
Tuskegee.
Tuskegee syphilis study, Henrietta Lacks, our cancer cells, the HeLa cells, which has kind of become the foundation of molecular biology and a lot of the studies we have. They were actually taken without her consent in the 50s. So we have these instances where you put this
And
in.
I'm sure, I'm not trying to be, pessimistic, but I'm sure it is still happening. But not in an official, from like a university.
I would hope
point of view.
not, but I know Tara, she was telling me about the building we work in. We've renovated a very historic space. So people may notice University of Chicago had the first self-sustaining nuclear reaction happen on campus underneath some football bleachers. Then they went to what's now Argonne National Labs. Reactor 1 was built. They moved. On campus, though, they built a new building, the FMI building. And in that building, they put the first cyclotron, beta-lineartron, gammatron in the early 50s.
Yes.
And then Tara, I tell the story about this, and then Tara's like, I heard
Yeah.
this program. So
Yeah, I actually heard, well, it was a YouTube video, but I listened to it like a podcast about how they did all this study post-nuclear bomb about looking at radiation, and they had to compare like what was in your bones, but everybody was on the Earth, and depending on where you're at, they can kind of measure, and if you die, they can take your bones and check, but they needed fresh bones. And so basically anybody who gave birth and the baby didn't survive, they would take the baby and they wouldn't let the mother have the baby or see the baby. They would cut off the legs and send it to someone, and they had these
My
mass
God.
graves. They called it Project Sunshine. It was
I
horrific.
love the name of that.
That's
Like it just.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of this, Nick. You're usually on top of
I
these.
feel like I-
beautiful.
these,
and
stories.
Oh,
I
like
feel
a
like I
lot of
have,
women
but,
finally
like-
hang on
found.
for a second. Okay, go, please.
A lot of women like finally were told what happened to their babies'
Oh, my
bodies
God.
and where the locations of the mass graves were, so they could finally go and pay
yeah,
respects.
Sure.
Like
And when was this?
probably late 50s,
50s, yeah.
60s.
The amount of mass graves that the world has from just shitty people,
Yes.
so many.
Well, yeah.
Like, we won't go into that because that's a history podcast right there. But yes, they are just the amount.
But the intersection of in the name of science, I'm sure, is bigger than we would like to admit.
I mean, take solace in knowing that it's not as big as the stuff done in the name of religion that have mass graves.
Well,
Like that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And wars.
or in the name of
yeah.
I'm right and you're wrong.
The name
So, I
of-
mean, that's
Well, I
Well,
have
yeah,
a lot
don't
of
look
those
in my
ones, too,
backyard for
right?
that one.
in the
Yeah.
name of senseless
Yeah.
leaders thinking that they're
well,
anyway.
let's
Okay.
Right.
let's pivot
Yes.
back to we
I
get
do
off
have
the
a
death
question.
and the macabre really fast here. I don't know what's going on.
Science.
Science, morbid, death.
Let's get back to the morbid death
Yes,
related
yes.
to
But
science.
But also why we have all of these, why safeguards are in place
Right. Right.
when you have human subjects is because of
That's right.
if you don't, then you have
Right.
things like this
And
happen.
it's so easy to take advantage of people. Like when you look at like children, very important to be able to do research on children, but very difficult because they're not able to usually make their own decisions.
Yeah, they can't consent.
Right.
People
Exactly.
in prison, another very heavily regulated, because now you're kind of holding an advantage over them, and they'll
Right.
take whatever they can get.
Well,
And
yeah,
you're-
you hold their life over them, being like, well, you could get a reduced sentence, but you have to go
Right,
through these,
right.
you know, really terrible tests.
That was like the Tuskegee kind of experiment. So I was going to say, people in poor economic situations. So
Yeah.
that Superman, the reign of Superman, that's an example
It's
of
a
that.
very fitting.
Also,
right.
also not just hard science, but like psychological studies. I mean,
Right.
think
Yes.
about
That's true.
was it, what's his name?
Stanford. Oh, you're not going with the
Yeah,
Stanford.
the one where you have to give someone a shock, and then you keep getting it, increasing it. And they didn't actually shock the person, but the
Oh, right.
person thought
Right.
they were
That's right. They're
shocking
being
the
shocked.
person.
Right. Right.
That kind of thing is
Right.
like all
Psychological kind of
all these
experiments.
traumatic.
Yep. Yep.
It's not the one I was thinking of.
What are you thinking?
Are you thinking of the
The Stanford
one,
prison experiment.
which one was that?
That's the one where they divided the students up. Said,
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
are prison guards.
Yep.
You guys
right.
are prisoners.
Yeah. Yep.
And
But they all
they-
consented to that, right? I mean, they were all
Thinks
18.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
they were college kids. They
Yes.
weren't like Lord of the Flies kind of
But
situation.
it feels like they did do that in like elementary schools and stuff. Like they had people
Yeah.
pick because of eye color.
Oh,
what
that was,
group
but that
you
was
were
a
in.
teacher. But I think that experiment was a teacher explaining discrimination.
Right.
And she separated them blue eye and brown eye or black.
Right.
It was
But
like
it
some,
still sounded,
and it was more
yeah.
when you exclude people based on some arbitrary phenotypic feature, that it's not fair, and you feel it there. So it was an example. You're right. That's a psychological experiment. I think you still need rules, and there are rules
Right.
about that. But
So,
injecting
yeah.
someone with radioactive materials to see, or pathogen to see how they respond. But mental stress is also a stress. So I don't want to discount that, but you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So, question for the two scientists in the room. Do you guys feel that lab safety hinders at all, or no?
I'm going to go no.
Yeah.
I think that, like I said, the protocols are in place. So if you have an experiment that you need to do that involves patients, humans, animals, of any sort of animal, you have to then go and get protocols approved.
And justify why you're taking that specific subject over a. The only word I'm
different-
thinking is lesser. You
Right.
have a hierarchy, a mouse versus a dog
right.
versus a human. Like as you
Yeah.
go up to the more complex, you have to justify why you can't do
Doing
it
it, right.
in a simpler organism. Why do you need an animal versus a cell?
Yeah, the IAC, the Institutional Animal
IACUC.
Care, IACUC, there it is, Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee. And so the 3 R's: replacement, reduction, refinement. So replacement, as Tara was saying, is can you use a different model besides an animal? Reduction, use the fewest animals possible. Like we need thousands, and you really can do it with a few. And then refinement, minimize the pain and distress. Right? So you through anesthesia
And that gets back to
and
sample
housing
size.
and things like that. Right.
Right.
Sample size, all that stuff becomes
Right.
important. So, the big one was like cosmetic testing.
Yes.
I think there was a lot in the 80s and 90s. That was
well,
a big thing.
they still do it
I was
in
gonna
China.
say-
It's one of those
Right,
things
right,
because
right.
I'm also very into beauty YouTube. If you can't tell from my eyeshadow, sorry, users.
It shows like
We actually
gorgeous
took pictures.
sunset.
We'll have that on
Yeah,
the-
it's very
'cause we're in
shimmery.
studio.
Yeah, eyes. Yeah.
And a lot of, especially independent brands, are vegan, and so no testing on animals. And you can't sell in China because China regulations, and I think they're slowly changing, but they require to do their own animal testing before they'll allow you to sell in China.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's because they're afraid something would affect. I mean, yeah.
yeah.
If you're going to sell an eyeshadow and you need to put it in the eye of a rabbit, then maybe you don't need to be selling that eyeshadow if you
Yeah.
can't test it on a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think also, too, it's about industrial regulations.
Right.
And if you're a little loose on that, can ingredients sneak in that are harmful to humans? And so if you know this happens in your country, then you go, we
Let's
need this
test
test
for
done
it.
right, because we need to make sure your processing, your manufacturing is really good. It's something we take for granted here in America that we are at a point where all these guardrails and people complain about it, but they do actually.
I don't know, but then
They do more than you think,
and then
right?
other countries,
They're probably being
they,
dismantled right now.
I think
so.
they do
Well,
more
that's a
in
different
some
story,
areas,
but-
but look at food.
That's why I said we take it for granted because
we let all kinds of crap in our food that other countries won't. So
Paula Poundstone has a little bit in her routine. Paula Poundstone, she's a comedian.
Oh,
And, where the cosmetic, caution, eye irritant. Well, yeah. What isn't an eye irritant? I mean, seriously.
water is an eye irritant.
Everything is an eye. Whenever you say caution, you put cosmetics in some poor animal's eye, of course it's going to hurt.
Well,
to be
because
fair,
it hurt. This eyeshadow on my eye says not for use around eyes on the packaging because the U.S. and the FDA won't pay to test more eye pigments. And so they have certain eye pigments, especially pinks and reds, that are banned for use here around the eye, but are perfectly safe in the EU because they've been tested.
Okay.
And so they have to say it's not an eyeshadow, but a pressed pigment that is not safe for use around eyes so that you use it as you want.
wait. So back up. The EU approves it, but the US doesn't because the US doesn't want to spend the money to do it.
Correct.
So that
And they won't use the EU's research, or maybe they don't have access. I don't know. But they have to. So they need the testing to make it legal, but they won't pay. They say that the companies have to pay.
Yeah.
that's a red flag.
So I'm gonna touch back. We can get back in the real world, but I'm gonna go Spider-Man.
We can get back to eyeshadow.
I want to cover a few. Like I said, a couple lists, but this is maybe the villains. I mentioned a few already, but let's just go through some. The Lizard, Dr. Kurt Connors. He was trying to regenerate his arm, and decided
was he a doctor?
He was a PhD scientist in a lab. Did his trainings, but he ignored them all, obviously. And he was trying limb regeneration and thought you could take a reptile and use their regenerative abilities. I think there's a little faulty sign. I think we touched on this in another episode. He probably picked the wrong animal to try this with, but there was no institutional review, no animal trials. He just injected himself with some sort of mutagen.
I thought he did have animal trials.
And
that's why he was confident in
I don't think he
working.
did. I think it was slim. It was very scant trials.
We may have to
we also don't
some,
get the whole backstory of
we might have to do some
everything he's
research
done.
on
I
I'm
still
pretty sure.
it's very in most labs. It's you don't just go from animal trial to injecting yourself.
So is it illegal to inject yourself?
It's not necessarily illegal.
If it's yourself.
Yeah,
But you
Right.
are an N of one,
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
like,
and you might be dead.
Yeah.
but like if you're already on the brink of like dying and you're like, I need to test this because what?
But he wasn't dying. He just
I know,
wanted
but
to
like-
regenerate his arm. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a very couldn't use the prosthetic thing, the little hook. He couldn't. I mean,
The
people.
hook, they have more advanced things than
I'm just
the
saying
hook.
that he
No,
Well,
has
back
right.
when they
No.
wrote that, they did not.
potentially
I don't know, what
right.
year was that?
When Dr. Connors came online,
He was an early villain.
He was, yeah. I mean, he was
Okay,
one of the
well,
earlier
I
ones.
think
Yeah.
they probably had something other than the hook.
A wood.
If hooks are
Hand?
good enough for a pirate, they're good enough for him.
Thank you.
We wouldn't
So-
have Lizard Man.
We wouldn't have Lizard Man.
Hi.
So, question for
Or
someone
whatever
who
his
is
name
more
is.
into the movies of Marvel and not into the comics. This sounds almost similar to Extremis.
1963.
Nice.
Yep.
Is that kind of similar to like the Iron Man 3 Extremis? Regenerating.
Yeah, I think he was trying gene editing in 1963. You can imagine the state of gene ed. There was no CRISPR.
Yeah.
Right.
There wasn't really a DNA was just being understood. So this was really fascinating and what you could do with it. And like I said, the science is a little wrong. I mean, reptiles they have some regenerative properties, but axolot would have probably been the better pick because they truly can regenerate full limbs.
I see a new
So,
super
Super
villain
axolot,
coming.
axolotl man or woman.
Yeah, and that would be so
The
popular.
axolotl.
Axolot.
Exo Man.
They have axes.
Axo.
And his
we need
sidekick,
Oxo.
Lotto
Yeah,
Boy.
right. They got a little flappy face thing.
They aren't really good with the axes, so they end up chopping off their own limbs, but they can regenerate them.
They can chop them off and throw them at people.
Oh my God, I would love to do
You
that.
could do it. There he does. We need to we got a lot of ideas on these podcasts.
Somebody write.
Yeah.
Take a note.
No,
take notes.
But I
Edit
mean,
that
I'm
out.
I'm trying to point out the scientific lab safety regulations, like the way he got to injecting himself. That's not the way. You just don't inject untested mutagens into yourself, no matter how desperate you
It's
are.
not advice.
Someone should. I mean, there's kind of regulation about self-doctoring yourself. If you're like a physician and things like that in clinical settings or lab settings, there are rules around you prescribing medicine to yourself, all sorts of things like that, because you can
gonna
get
stop
desperate
you?
and
Well, it's
yeah.
your name on the prescription
Right.
and your name on the prescription. So
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
the
that could-
pharmacist.
Someone looks at
that
it.
could be a problem.
Who is this
and
Dr.
now it's all
Nick?
digital, so
Yeah.
it's literally
Yeah.
coming from you for you.
Right. So so these things are in place to stop that, because you are desperate. You do want to try something. You think you have something that's meaningful. We can look at, once again, Jeff Goldblum and The Fly.
Who?
That's right.
I don't know who that is.
Hey.
Yeah, and trying to test, he was desperate to prove his technology worked. And he got into the pod after, doing what he was doing. And
By
then,
himself, by the way.
we
So
got-
yeah,
that's right.
That's
There's
a problem
no one else.
too.
And so
Yeah.
that's the other thing. A lot of times in labs, you're not supposed to be there by yourself. Like you're supposed to have a partner, or people know you're there, or you are staying by yourself. And what are you going to be doing exactly, checking in? So these are the kind of rules and things that are in place to stop that kind of thing. But I digress a little bit because Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, and to be fair, in a real life setting, how many people do you think are just injecting themselves with something?
right, I don't think it happens
Right,
a lot.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, maybe if you're doing clinical research, but if you're in the lab,
so I was nice jumping around here in the holes. It's like, but
So many holes to choose from.
biohackers. So biohackers are one of these things where you have PhD scientists, non-PhD kind of citizen scientists who are taking it upon themselves to improve their bodies. And so you have people like grinders, they're implanting magnets, RFID chips, LEDs under their skin. Harmless to some extent, this body modification, like kind of extreme body modifications, to the more DIY biology folks, optimizing diet, supplements, sleep kind of aids. And they're trying to improve their health, but they're trying to hack how they work, all the way to probably the more serious and more concerning when I was reading, and I didn't think about it, but gene editing and CRISPR. You can buy CRISPR kits. There's no regulation. Like if you just want to order one, you can get a CRISPR kit. You can start.
We're going to keep the
Doing
link in the
it,
bio, right? Or in the footnotes, right?
Yeah, that's right. In so this person, 2017, Josiah Zainer, he was a former NASA scientist, injecting himself with CRISPR gene editing
Forgot
solution at a
about that
biotech
dude.
conference
Yep.
on a live stream. He was
Right on
attempting
stage.
to edit his muscle growth genes. No clinical trial, no IRB, no follow-up protocols. But then he later came out and said he regretted doing that because he didn't want other people to try it because someone could get hurt. But he has publicly said he wants to be the first person to give himself a superpower. So I'm sorry, Nick. I know you say that a lot on the podcast, but he
Has
got
he
there
succeeded
first.
yet?
So yes, well, maybe he has.
Nick, you still have time.
And then in
Quick, open that
2018,
box.
you had Aaron Treywick. He was a biohacker CEO who injected himself on stage, once again, with the unapproved herpes treatment. He did die shortly after, but it was unrelated.
I mean, nothing like calling yourself out on stage.
But this stuff, you can have these garage lab setups and they work outside of the regulatory framework. So you have people here who were scientists or science affiliated, probably did trainings and all this. NASA, I don't know if he was a biologist. So you have this engineers safety is a little different. Like there are different trainings for people. How do you handle that? Biosafety levels. We probably will touch on that in a little bit. But you have this whole thing where you don't have sterile containment, no secondary containment if something goes wrong, no regulatory kind of protocols in place. But yeah, can you get
no
CRISPR
sterility
kits?
of
Right,
the
your
stuff you're
supplies. Exactly.
injecting yourself with.
Exactly.
So there is a chance that there are people out there still experimenting on just random folks.
Well, there were the CRISPR babies.
or themselves, right? I mean,
Yeah.
CRISPR
or
babies?
right. That's
yeah,
right.
the scientist who
China, right?
Yeah, I think
Yep,
it was.
yep.
I was trying not to pick on China, so I didn't want to say it because I wasn't sure. But yeah, he gene edited for certain traits, correct?
Yeah, that was it, right? Yep.
Ew.
Oh, Tara, I just got an
Designer
email.
babies.
It said that you're uninvited to China. Sorry.
Your visa's not been approved.
It's been revoked.
I threw around IRB, like no one here said what is IRB, but that's the Institutional Review Board. Just want to make sure. So you have these like ethics gatekeepers that review your protocol. So you write up what you're going to do. I'm going to inject Nick with XYZ, gene editing.
Here's his
solution.
signature.
Nick
And
says
then-
it's cool.
Well, right, and then the
They
committee.
don't care whether
Michelle
the
says it's not.
people
The
are-
committee, and so the whole thing, a
There's both
committee
sides.
reviews that. So they go and they look at it and they go, well, what is Nick's? They go through all the levels.
What's
especially
wrong
if
with
it's
that
federal
guy?
funding. They have to approve it. They review the science. They
That's
review the
the whole
ethics,
peer
the
review
consent.
that
Right.
Joe was
Yeah.
talking about to make sure it's up and up.
Do they have to do a mental stability check to see if they're in the right of mind?
Well,
or...
they're checking if the research is ethical.
Well,
and right.
And
so
but there are regulations on, if you're in treatment for major mental instabilities, you can't consent to be a subject.
So someone that has dementia wouldn't be able to.
Now, it gets tricky because if it's a
does.
specific dementia medication, then their next, their power of attorney or
or, right,
health
the
proxy
person responsible for
would
their,
be able to
yeah.
sign kind of like children, but it
That's
has
right.
to be very
That's right.
specific,
That's right.
very well planned out because that person is incapacitated in even more of a way than the average
So,
person.
so
Because
you
I was
could,
thinking
yeah.
of the Planet of the Apes film with James Franco and John
Lithgow.
Lithgow, where Franco was a scientist who was doing
Planet of
research.
the Apes
on-
is this?
This was what?
Oh, the new ones?
one
Yeah,
of the
okay.
more newer
Okay.
ones.
with James Franco
right,
and
yeah.
John Lithgow.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying. I mean, John Lithgow's of age. He could have been in one of the many Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes, Meet the Planet of the Apes. So I was just wondering, was he back then or was he more recent?
It was fairly
Yeah,
recent.
I mean, John
It
Lithgow,
wasn't-
right? I mean,
It wasn't the most
Yeah.
recent.
no, it was
like
the first
maybe
one that they started
the-
for
Right,
the new
right,
ones.
Right,
Okay.
right. The
Where-
first of the more recent.
Jeez,
Yeah.
man. You're trying to get on John Lithgow's Christmas card list or
Yes,
something?
yes, I am. He's a
I don't
young,
know.
vibrant man.
I'm not saying he's so ancient. I'm not saying that. He could have been in one of the Planet of the Apes adjacent movies. They went into like the 80s. All those. I mean, it was like 8 or 9 of them. So
There were so
I
many,
mean,
and now
yeah.
there's so many more.
there are. So
But
love 'em.
anyway, what was your point?
what was your point?
Did you have a point?
Yeah, so Franco
I mean it
ended
like
up
that.
testing the drug on his father without.
Oh, right. Yeah, the
Was
memory.
John Lithgow
right,
his
right,
father?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Young and vibrant. Hey.
Yes, I'm pretty sure
Dad.
him and Franco were the same age.
Franco was like 5.
Hey, Dad, I really need to try this on you to see if we get you some pep. But yeah, I was gonna say I had a note in my notes here that biohackers probably are the version of Spider-Man villains. They're not necessarily evil to start.
100%.
They're not stupid. They're really smart people. They're curious people, and they have tools, but they just ignore all the institutional infrastructure and kind of go outside the system to get to their own means and try to shortcut it. And then,
But then
And
Just
I
to
think
say
you
that
would say
they're
they
right.
also have major ego.
that's right, yeah.
But then
Except
they
I think
really-
oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, sorry.
No. I was going to say, let's finish that thought. And I think in the comics, they get superpowers and become villains, and they get angry because they feel they've been wronged by the thing that they've done to themselves. But I think in real life, you probably just die a painful, horrible death. So let's not do it.
Wow, you really just dampened that movie.
I'm gonna get. I'm,
Jeez Louise, I
we're
can't
not
wait
gonna
till
get.
they
We're not
start
getting
biohacking
biohacker
you.
We're not gonna
sponsors.
get the
Yeah,
biohacker on.
biohackers.
As a guest.
Well, and it's one of
Um,
those things you really have to be careful. When they first started with gene therapy and Jesse Gelsinger, they had all sorts of research to try to use an adenovirus to edit your genes. And this poor,
What happened?
I'd say kid, but he might have been an adult, barely, but died a painful death because it just went bad. And they halted it for a long time. And really, CRISPR is the big up and coming for gene editing again because nobody wanted to touch it because they jumped in so fast and it was just horrible.
We just talked in a mini about the lentivirus
Oh, yeah.
gene editing for sickle cell anemia they have for bone marrow. So that was, you're right, the virus models. That was supposed to be the next big gene editing thing, but yeah, it had a slow start.
Did anybody here ever read the zine Guinea Pig Zero?
No.
This was a while ago. But yeah, he wrote a zine about his adventures in participating in human clinical trials.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've heard about people. I mean, you can almost make a living doing clinical trials. Like if you really say
this person did that for a while. Yeah.
Some of them pay really well, like the sleep study ones, and they're not invasive. You're not going to die, but they go somewhere, you sleep for a while.
Bad veins. I was supposed to have IVs in both sides. When I was young, as a technician, signed up for like a 4-night stay in a hospital. They wouldn't take me.
Yeah, but I remember I read story. I don't know if it was the same person, but I've read stories where you make 40, 50K a year and just doing studies, like going around and signing up and saying, yeah, you want to strap some electrodes in my head and watch me sleep? Go for it. Yeah. Speaking of Max Dillon, he was electrocuted while working in the power lines during this lightning storm. And this whole thing. And
so that's not really lab safety. That might be workplace safety.
Well, I mean, OSHA regulations, but yeah, so
that's scientific
Nick
safety.
is thinking about the.
So
comic.
I mean, they have
Did I get
different
that right?
iterations of Max, where some of them he is in a lab where he falls into something and a pit, and others he is that. But yeah,
he was alone. He was kind of.
I feel like he's always alone.
He's always alone. That was the big thing I had. He's alone. He has nobody. He's doing something seriously dangerous, and it's, I'm just going to do it by myself. It's me versus the world kind of thing.
Who's going to stop me?
Yeah, right. Who's going to stop me?
I don't want to have to come back tomorrow.
Yeah. And there's some lightning, and then he gets all these electrical cardiac arrests and lightning. He gets the whole thing, and then he's like a biological capacitor, essentially. Then it's falling in pits. Sandman fell into a particle accelerator.
Which I think they had a fun part in the last Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Where Sandman and Electro were talking about, oh yeah, you really got to watch where you step.
I mean, the thing about it, and they
both fall
running from police. Like if you've been to Argonne, I mean, I don't know how many people listening has been to Argonne, but there are so many regulations.
Wait, that movie takes place?
Which movie? Oh, the one with Keanu Reeves and.
No, that was at U Chicago.
Yeah, that was at U Chicago. Yeah, with Keanu Reeves and Morgan Freeman.
I thought it was.
What was that
Ben
called?
Affleck's.
Ben Affleck's?
Yeah, Ben Affleck's.
Is that the new sponsor?
Yes. It's Ben Affleck's. He actually sponsors us because he's sponsored by Affleck's.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening now. Nick was licking rocks, so now he's in a different dimension.
Let this be a lesson, children. Please don't lick rocks.
No, you lick rocks for the
gotta
power.
Call Ben Affleck's for us. But yeah, if you go there, it's staffed. There's big red buzzers. You're not allowed when the doors close, things like that.
You're not allowed
just
to
running.
run.
Yeah, you're running from police. You're not falling into anything. And so, yeah, it's a very weird thing there. So then you have like Green Goblin, Norman. He did testing on himself, self-administers solutions. He was psychologically unstable.
He did have other people in the lab with him.
He did, but I mean, he was also the funder of the research, so no one was going to stop him. Right?
Of interest.
What do you got pictures of? Ben?
Nothing. Argo is what I was thinking.
Oh.
Argo.
Oh,
with Ben Affleck's.
Argo, yeah.
That was it, Argo?
Not quite the same.
No. I realize that now.
Oh.
It was the other. It was the one. I can't think of the name of it. Cold Fusion.
Yeah, I think
Was that
that's
it? Cold
right.
Fusion?
I think that's right.
It don't watch
it's
it,
really
people.
bad.
Yeah.
Except I mean, it's got Keanu. But...
Wait, was
and Morgan
Keanu
Freeman.
actually at U Chicago?
Yeah, he was a scientist. Him and
No,
Morgan
I mean,
Freeman.
did he film?
I think they
at
Yeah, it
U
was.
Chicago?
Yeah, it was south side. It was like south
Yeah.
side of Chicago. It was like an off-site lab, and so they were there. And
But
it
there
was
are
in.
some scenes that you-
they destroyed Hyde Park. I think like it went nuclear in this.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to knock Keanu, but I don't ever see him as a scientist.
Oh.
Like,
whoa.
No, definitely not.
he's not. I like him.
It's
He's
just-
just.
He was a
And
he was
I
a
think
doctor, and as good as it gets, right?
I can see him as a
No,
doctor.
no,
not a
something-
scientist.
He was such
No,
a
it wasn't.
handsome
It wasn't
doctor.
as good as it gets. It was the other
Not
one.
quite as handsome as in
What was
Oh yeah, something's got to give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say it seems like a lot of the villains in Spider-Man, they get more villainous as they go on, right? I mean, it seems like they were more like a balanced human being, but then as they have these powers,
Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
little bit
It
more of
just
a
kinda
psychological
Angry.
break.
Yeah.
You
where-
never see
Right.
them go, oh, maybe I should rethink this.
But
you
Georgia,
know,
think
or-
about it. In order to inject yourself with something or to do that, you're probably already close to that psychological
Yeah.
break. And so it just
Right.
pushes you to the edge.
It's either accidental, like Nick was
Fair.
joking, you fall into
Or like
something, or you're
Spider-Man.
doing something, or Spider-Man, it was accidental.
It was,
like it wasn't
yeah.
your fault. You didn't intentionally plan on
Getting bit by
encountering
Right.
poor lab safety. So they fell into or wandered into a poor lab safety situation. Or you were desperate and or mentally unstable, and it's decided at some point, you know what? The hubris of it and your ego got in the way, and you said, this works. I've tested it. Like we were talking earlier about Dr. Connor. Y'all, this worked. I tested a few things. I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to go. I can't wait another day with my
I'll get the
prosthetics. That's
approval
right.
once
That's
they
right.
can see
Yep.
that
Yep.
it's
Yep.
worked.
And my money. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I mean, he's building a shrink ray machine in his attic or whatever.
Or
So
the new-
That's that new
So-
show.
The new
Anyone,
one.
I want to
yeah.
watch
My
that.
Miniature Wife?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks good.
That
Oh,
does look
yeah.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, don't
But-
leave their little shrinking device
Right,
just
right,
in your
right,
kitchen
right.
for
I
somebody.
mean, it's a
to
great
find.
plot device. If I want to write a good story or have a good show, I'm going to mix the shrink material in Nick's hand putty. So that
No, just put it on a rock.
Well, Nick is
Hey,
a good
Nick, you want a
example.
suit?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'd love a suit.
And a loaf of bread, some artisanal bread.
And a little bit of soup to go with that.
So, what are some of your favorite lab accidents?
Favorite lab accidents?
Real or fake?
Or just like ones that
In
really,
pop- in
could I-
not like a
culture,
yay,
or-
but like
before we touch on that,
One-
are you guys
yeah.
familiar with the biosafety levels? Because some of this what we talk about. So
Low, moderate, high.
Really,
So
really,
no.
Dangerous.
2, 3,
Three and
and
four,
4.
yeah.
scary.
I was close.
yeah. So
Really?
yeah,
I
these-
had 4 of
Scary.
them.
So I just want, because it was interesting, because this was all, I mean, the first kind of idea of even biosafety levels was back in World War II biological warfare research at Fort Detrick in Maryland, where they created some of the first class 3 biosafety cabinets in 1943 because they were working with this. And they said, you know what, we need to work inside a box because this is kind of dangerous. And then in the Silmar conferences in 1975, that kind of brought this kind of attention to biotechnology as it expanded into kind of the start of molecular techniques. And it was like, we need to actually regulate this. And then in 1984 was the NIH published the first edition of biosafety in microbiology and biomedical laboratories. And that defined 4 kind of safety levels. Safety level 1, BSL 1, you hear referred to, is a basic lab. There's a wet bench,
What is your lab?
low risk.
2.
We are technically a 2. I'll get there. Harmless E. coli strains and protections would be lab coat, gloves, hand washing, open benches.
No goggles?
BSL 2, not that I saw. I guess you could have goggles, but and 2, moderate hazard, hepatitis B, salmonella, restricted access, biohazard signage, biosafety cabinets, and for procedures generating aerosols, goggles would come in here.
All
that
gene
you're aware of.
editing would be at
BSL
least a
2.
BSL2.
Even
BSL,
though you could just buy it.
you could
and
just
do
buy it. Buy it in your garage.
It's actually on its way to my house now.
Yeah, I know. Nick's like, do not enter my
hasn't been
garage.
on
This is a
that phone a
BSL2
lot.
facility. Thank you.
Don't worry, I have lab safety.
He's like, I've listened to the
I
episode
have some plastic
several
gloves.
times. It's just like a kitchen. BSL 3. Serious, potentially lethal agents. So TB, West Nile virus, SARS. You need negative air pressure rooms, respiratory protection, decontamination of all waste, 2-door entries. So you're cleaning in, out,
Tightly regulated.
Tightly
Not everybody
regulated.
has access.
ID cards. And then BSL 4 is the highest level, deadly, no treatment at all.
Or
Ebola,
unknown treatment. Like
or
it's
unknown.
if when Ebola first happened,
Yep.
it was BSL4 because they didn't know what it was. They didn't know how it was transmitted. They just knew people died.
I think it's still BSL.
Yeah.
I think now
but I'm just
is
saying,
a
like, that's
treatment,
how
but,
things start. If it's that deadly,
Wait.
it can be a BSL-4.
So is that, was it found in a lab or was it
Ebola?
Yeah, no. So you said that would be under that condition, right?
Yes.
Ebola, yes, and Marburg. Yeah,
That's because they were
Marburg.
studying it.
And
Okay,
Right,
that's what.
right.
Like they were actively looking.
If you
for
bring it
this.
into the lab,
Yeah.
the study, or
looking for it or looking at it?
at it for it.
they were
Because they weren't
trying
looking
to,
for it. They,
they
were
were
looking
looking-
at it because people were
dying.
dying.
right.
Okay.
So they
So
were trying to figure out what it was.
Anything
and how
emerging
they
at
could-
first is
Right.
probably, it's going to be a 3 or a 4,
Okay, so
depending on how
So what was-
on current
devastating it is.
events,
The hot
as
zone.
of
That
when
was-
we're recording this,
Did you read
what's
the hot
that
zone?
virus?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to go through
Hantavirus?
before. Hold on, pin that because in the BSL-4, full body pressurized suits. If your suit is damaged, pressurized air forces outward, preventing any inward contamination. So it's complete isolated facilities, full shower, out protocols.
That's like Dustin Hoffman and
Outbreak,
right?
which poor lab safety because of the centrifuge scene.
Oh,
That's how
yes.
it spread. They got this deadly. They were kind of loosey-goosey with it. It should have been immediately a BSL 3-4 level, but they were in there with their technicians
They opened
goofing
up
around.
the-
The centrifuge.
Yeah.
It didn't stop, and they tried to stop it because they're being rushed, and then they get splattered, and then they don't say anything. I mean, you get splattered with blood contaminant. Generally, you usually fill out a form or something like that, and you move forward. But here, they did not, and so yeah, that led to the outbreak. But right, that's where you see it in most movies and stuff. They have BSL-4 agents, but they work like it's a BSL-0.
You know who also has really bad lab safety?
You know?
Plubris.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great
Pluribus.
example. And then they're like,
Apple show.
they're licking.
Oh,
yeah.
pluribus.
Pluribus? I thought it was Plubis.
Pluribus.
Herber?
I was going to bring that up too.
Tomato.
Pluribus is one.
You
Yeah,
say
at the
baloney,
very
I say
beginning,
blah-
I was thinking about this
blah, blah.
morning. I'm like, I'm Googling
What was the
what
name?
movie or show had bad lab safety where they passed the virus by kissing.
Whoa.
I think that was a risky show.
after dark.
It was
What'd you get on your list? Oh, you got
Yeah,
a list?
nothing.
We want to know.
nothing worthwhile.
We
was
want to
it?
know.
Contagion is
I
the
know.
only thing that came up.
Well, Contagion,
Contagion,
I
yes,
did
right.
think of Contagion because she worked in a lab, right?
But there was
She
no,
worked in
I don't
a-
think there was no poor, actually, it was a really good movie, and there was no
I
poor
thought it
lab
was pretty
safety.
realistic.
The-
it was the sushi show.
That's right. The restaurant
And it was
in
the animal. It was
pig.
transmitted through an
Yep,
animal.
it was a
and then-
zoonotic virus. Yep, that jumped. So it was probably a flu that jumped, and they were at the restaurant, and the pork was poorly cooked, like Nick said, like in the kitchen. And a BSL-4.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on record saying I never got anyone sick.
that you know of?
My kitchen safety.
You have not started a pandemic, is what you're saying?
Exactly. My kitchen safety was top tier.
How many days without starting a pandemic?
How many
Just
days without
stops and
hurting
ends in his
myself
household.
was always really low.
But yeah, no, Contagion was that. But yeah, kissing.
Do
Oh,
you
that's a
guys
good.
have a thing in your lab, like however many days since an accident?
Oh, that's awesome.
No, I don't.
Contamination.
We've really had no accidents. So.
No.
I mean, we had
I don't think they
someone
want
not
to
use
discuss
proper
But I'm thinking of the
PPE,
actual
with liquid
sign.
nitrogen
What-
and
and
they
you
guys-
accidentally
you
gotta
burned
say what
themselves.
PPE is.
Personal protective
Yeah, equipment.
equipment.
Yep.
that. PPE?
PPE.
Yeah. I figure after the
It's a
pandemic, everybody
PPE
knows what
thing.
PPE is.
Yeah.
It's a PPE.
I knew what that one was.
thing.
But
You down
I'm
with
saying,
PPE?
Is that an
Yeah,
actual
you know
thing?
me.
Wait,
Oh,
Who's
God.
down with PPE?
is
It's all party.
that an actual thing though that you have to have a sign?
No.
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 There's no.
I think in some workplaces.
I see the safety.
That was
I think
total
it's some-
haughty derision.
that's-
No.
I think in some workplaces.
I think that's more warehouses
I
and
was
stuff.
gonna say I think in some workplaces.
I can see
they
that.
have
Our
to have
safety
it.
inspector
And I
comes
think
through.
in the
Where's
movie
your
that I
sign
think
at?
of, Monsters.
Joe, we
Monsters, Inc.
failed. We don't
Yeah.
have our sign. No, the signs we have to
Yeah.
have are no food and drink allowed in this
Yes,
refrigerator.
Right. Yeah, this
And
one.
where
Or
your
microwave.
eyewash
Or
is.
Yeah.
where the eye washes are at. How often they're tested so that they know
Weekly
where.
tested
Mm-hmm.
to
The
make
shower
Nailed
sure.
everything. Yeah, no.
Yep, yep.
And other things get tested that we don't. Like we have the shower and they test that once a year.
Yeah.
They make sure the flow in the safety cabinets are up to par once a year.
Yep.
So back to my question.
Oh, what was
Which
your question?
one?
Sorry. You did ask a few questions.
I know I had a lot.
It's all right. We'll get to
For the new virus that's been.
Oh, yeah.
On the
Would that
cruise
be
ship.
Which
considered?
new virus
On
are we
the
talking
cruise
about?
ship.
The hantavirus?
Yes.
hantavirus, yeah.
That's not new.
Well, it's new
Well,
to
it's
me.
It's
new.
in the-
New to them,
it's
yeah.
in-
It's a
It's in the news
I'm not
because
someone that's
of
like,
the,
what are
Yeah.
these viruses
The
that
new
are out here?
outbreak of the virus.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's currently being.
In another
talked about.
lifetime, I would have been one of those virus cowboys going out and studying the outbreaks.
You could
virus
still be
cowboy,
that.
I mean, yeah.
No one's
Oh.
stopping you.
I'm a cowboy. I want to steal a horse I ride.
So is that going to be like a higher level or no?
So they know more about it, although this gets interesting because I just saw today that this is the version that actually can be transmitted between people.
They were trying to decide that because they were saying it might have been a couple that came on and then they spread it.
Because normally it's through
Right.
rats.
Just through rat
Yeah.
feces and
Yeah.
urine, most strains. But there are a couple that can be passed. And they don't pass, they're not transmitted human to human. But this one they thought might be, but it's still.
But I don't know if it's aerosolized, if
Yeah.
it's like
It's
something
pretty
like
poor
smallpox,
still, yeah.
for instance,
It's
is like
scary.
crazy
yeah.
contagious.
It's scary.
So what lab safety is this going to be under?
Oh, 4. Wouldn't that-
3.
Yeah,
But
probably
people
3.
have
yeah.
died.
But they understand it. It's
Right.
not a
Oh,
no.
okay. All right.
It's not. It's. I don't think the death rate is as severe as
No, I mean,
Ebola.
like,
There could
right.
be a game
Or,
guess
yeah.
the safety
Yeah,
level.
Or even COVID. I mean, you think the cruise ships with COVID. I think everyone on the ship got COVID
What
eventually.
was COVID classified as?
Well, it was interesting because we had
think it was-
conversations about all that because we had some imaging.
That's a good question.
I think
Yeah.
if you like true reproductive COVID
That's right.
was
Yeah.
3.
If you're actively growing it in cells to study its replication, it became a 3. But if you were to studying like the spike protein or kind of you're not actively growing it, you just have some in a tube, that
It
it
was a
became a
2.
BSL-2, just
So
kind
you
of.
could have had it in your lab.
we did.
You did have it in your lab.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep. We did. Yep.
So how?
There was some work we did during the pandemic. We were in there. We
He
weren't
had
one of the
his
main labs.
official
but
letter,
I
and
did.
it got all like worn.
It's hanging on the
I had a
wall.
letter,
It's
too.
right there on the wall in the
See,
studio,
oh, yeah.
basement studio. Yeah.
means-
Then
It
I had
is.
to
Yeah.
have the letter because Joe had to come down with COVID himself,
I
and so
didn't
then
get
I had
COVID.
to go into the lab
Then-
instead of him.
Then I was like, you need to go check on equipment and
He was
projects
an
that were going.
essential,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
was called
It was
an
essential. Yeah, it was an essential. I had to go in and
I felt
did
so
things
essential
and-
for once in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. No, I went. I had to go in and anything that needed to be loaded or samples, meetings. So a lot of meetings with safety and how we should handle these samples as
Okay.
they came in. And we work with other people with BSL-2. We haven't worked with anything BSL-3, but I've worked with mouse prion samples.
Would human prions be 3?
That might be almost 4. I don't know.
That
Now,
makes
can you
you
explain
a
what that
zombie,
is?
It's like
right?
Creutzfeldt
prion?
Jakob.
I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
makes you a
stuff like
zombie.
that.
Yeah, the
Mad
prions,
cow
that
is
is there, yeah.
probably the most common
Yeah.
one. If you
Right.
hear mad cow, it's like a misfolded protein,
Yep.
that can cause other proteins to misfold. So
Misfold,
it almost
yeah.
like is contagious in a way.
Oh.
And if it's in your brain, then it takes
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
and damages that part of the brain.
So that's what mad cow was. It was a prion. They're interesting because why do they cause the other proteins to misfold? And there's no cure.
No, and so in a way, it's like a contagious protein.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
because
two.
spread
really freaky.
through.
It's only 2.
But sometimes 3. Yeah,
Wow.
So they go 2 or 3. 'Cause I think if you're like in other species, mouse, because they don't jump, so or that we know of. But yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
things that I'm surprised are only 2.
Yeah. No, there's all sorts of weird stuff. Like somehow like one of the flesh-eating bacteria strains, and it was like, oh yeah, this is a. And I started working with some. They were like, oh yeah, this is flesh-eating. What? Time out. What are we doing here?
But then you have
And
a
you go,
yeast
yeah,
that
yeah.
just you've put something
Yeah.
in there, so it just makes less of one protein, and that's also a 2 because you've genetically modified it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
What do you bring up? The pluribus.
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 Plubus?
Pluribus.
Pluribus.
You guys
say it
have
real
not
fast,
taken
we
Latin,
won't know.
right?
Pluribus. That's right. Let's say it really quick. But they had a BSL-4 scene in there. They started it the right.
They
It
did
looked
a
like they were
terrible
doing
job.
it good.
But then they did
They
a
were
terrible
awful.
job.
But then,
yeah.
right, she punctured herself, and then it
Right.
was it was like, I'm going to take you out of containment as you're having some sort of disease episode. No, generally you wouldn't do that because once you take that person out, you would then contaminate you could potentially start an outbreak.
And
so
that
it was
the
really
start
what
of
they
the
did.
stand.
I was going to say the stand.
It wasn't the scientists, but at the
right.
same time, they were under very strict
That's right.
guidelines. If this
That's right.
happened,
'Cause
you
it
do
was
not
a-
leave.
Well, that
Yeah.
was the green light, the
Yeah.
sniffer. And so that was, if you haven't read The Stand, and it's older than 20 years. So
No, but don't
sorry,
spoil
go
it.
read it.
Well, I
that's the
haven't
beginning.
finished it. It was a little
It's a lot.
much for me. I had to step
It's a
away,
lot.
but the beginning was.
But yes, The Stand
yeah,
was for, but it wasn't the lab safety protocols. I think The
It was
Stand points out
everyone
that
around the
even
lab
if you have
safety.
the best lab safety protocols, if one person
Well, I think-
breaks containment
I was
of
going to
something
say
very,
it gets back to human error.
that's right, exactly.
you know,
Yep,
or
yep,
human
yep.
stupidity.
Yep, or human
Or,
stupidity.
or, I mean, you might just like,
Yeah.
you know
And
what
I mean, to be fair,
We're
his
all
thought was, I want to
humans.
save my family.
Right.
Crap's
That's
going
right. That's
down.
right. That's
I need to
right.
get out of here and get my family out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
But
not.
that-
Well,
Yeah.
you had the nurse also at the facility. And they had the signs that if you feel sick, right, that you should say
Yeah.
you should report it. So she was a trained professional and had a little sniffle, and they said, "Oh, this is seasonal allergies," and didn't report. So the whole CDC
That's how I had
facility
COVID.
went down. Right?
Was it from
down.
him?
No, I felt like
Right.
seasonal allergies,
Right.
and it was
Right.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Well, I want to say what it wasn't really a lab, but one that I find super funny because we talked about it in the Gremlins. Remember the high school science lab? And he's eating a sandwich.
That's right. He's got a sandwich there. He's on an experiment. He's got we had a whole conversation. We did the Gremlin episode with Chris Guzman, who's going to be back for ET. He's coming back to talk ET.
Man, you're doing spoilers already?
I am. I'm
Jesus.
dropping the spoilers if you
It's
follow
not
us
a
along.
spoiler, it's a teaser.
I know.
You haven't
right?
even
Thank you.
recorded
It's
it yet.
different. Yeah, right. So I really can't spoil it.
Spoilers.
But yeah, we did talk about that scene with the science teacher, and he had his sandwich, and he's doing the
Let's
careful
just see
experiments. But
what's
yeah, and he's got his
happening.
sandwich. He just sits. So you should not eat at the bench while you're doing.
So
no,
when
that's
I was
a-
in high school, the guys would go in the back chemistry lab, grab a beaker, take their Reese's Pieces, put them in the beaker, melt them, and then chip them apart and eat them out of the beaker.
Oh.
you shouldn't
They
do that.
could have superpowers
Yes,
right now.
They could. They could be
Or
there, Nick. They
it
could
could
have
have
beat you
went the
there.
other way.
Yes, that's right. They could not be.
Before we move too far away from The Stand, I read a long time ago, but did anyone ever see the miniseries that came out somewhere in the mid 90s?
I think we started, but I have not.
I've
read the book many times. So
you can sorry guys, but you can, whoever's involved in this, but you can skip the everything after the first episode, because the first episode
This is such an endorsement.
but
Definitely
Where we're
watch the
going.
first
if
episode.
you haven't
But-
watched it,
here let
Just
me
don't.
watch the first episode and the last, and you got it.
Let Mary finish.
for the love of God. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Superstar.
Anyway, but it's cool because for 2 hours, it's, you have the massive containment breach, and you got the guy that's like, he sees all this stuff going down in the lab, and he's like, F this, I'm leaving. And he sneaks out of the gates and causes this worldwide, and some people are getting sick. And the very end of that first episode is the scariest scene in the whole thing, because all this time, one of our characters is being monitored in this lab that looks like BSL 10 or something. You know what I mean? Everything is completely locked down. And at the very end, I'm not spoiling anything because this is part of the miniseries.
And it's only the first episode.
And how many
It's the-
episodes are there?
There's 4,
Oh,
and
geez
you
Louise.
can miss all the 2, 3, and 4. But the first, and then at the very end, the doctor that's been very, very scared of this guy because he was exposed and he's totally fine. And then the doctor walks in and very obviously sick, and he has something behind his back, and he's just smiling, and he's just, oh, it's so scary. Oh my gosh, it's good stuff. But because at that point, like all pretense of lab safety and containment and we need to study you, and everyone's gone. It's just our main character and this doctor who's getting ready to drop.
Yeah.
But anyway, treat yourself. Just treat it like a whole movie,
Right.
and just watch that one episode, and you can skip everything else because it's good stuff.
And then you can read the book.
And read eats.
Yeah,
Which you gotta allow for some time.
What?
Yeats.
Yes, it is. It is a bit of a doorstop. Yeah.
In the stand, the one military guy who's making decisions and realizes that the containment, this bioweapon has breached. He was talking about his daughter gave him a book, and he goes, "Have you ever read Yeats?" It
The
was
center
kind of
cannot hold.
Right. Yeah. So
Yes.
that's right. Yeah. So, this guy Yeats.
Anyway.
But yeah, I have a few, kind of.
Joe, did you ever get to your list?
Yes, he's been going through the list.
I haven't
is that what he's been doing?
No, I haven't got to a list. I have a couple lists.
I
didn't have a list of villains because it says the Spider-Man villain. Did I miss? I think I hit all the villains. If there's any we want to go over, they all breached safety.
Scorpion was experimented on. Wasn't he?
By someone else, though,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So right. Yeah.
Paid
Which is
for by
consent.
J.
That's
Jonah
right. Yep. So yeah. So that was consent issue. He signed up and did it, taken advantage of.
Like he definitely wasn't in his right mind at all.
I was going to say some of the earliest maybe lab safety in fiction.
Okay.
I was going to say Icarus.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to build wings from feathers and wax. He didn't really
his
test it,
dad
and
did.
the
Daedalus?
Daedalus, that's right. Builds the wings, wax, and didn't test it. There was no trials. He just
Well,
kind of I
They
think
were trying
that's,
to escape, so I mean,
I'm just saying.
you have lab to test. It was,
Now or never.
yeah.
Prometheus took fire. Didn't understand it. Dangerous technologies, right?
Well,
That's a whole. That's still when someone's doing something, that goes, and that leads right to Frankenstein. Right, that's in the title.
Frankenstein, yes.
And there was no the mother of science fiction.
A lot
there,
of violations there.
you go through and
There
you
weren't
have
any
that,
lab
so-
safety
There was
regulations.
no
then.
lab right
So
then.
they were
No,
purely in the clear.
and we talked about that in episode 1, how they would take cadavers and take it into the parlor, and they were trying to revive the cadavers, and it was like a show. Like you would just have the cadaver,
Well, that is a theater.
and they would go
yeah,
right, and it was a whole
yeah.
and Mary Shelley, they said, had got inspired because she would go to these performances some nice Sunday afternoon, and we're going to see if they can revive the criminal that just got hung and see what happens. And
if
so
they
it was
revive
crazy.
him, they hang him again.
That is what they said. That they made laws that if they came back to life, what do we do? Well, we hang them again. We kill them again. So,
Poor people.
So it was, but yeah, that was it. No, I had the list I had.
That
Fun.
wasn't a list?
It was that was just that was a comment.
That
but
was a
yes,
pre-list,
there's a
I
lot of
guess.
lists,
Okay.
but the list I had is can Nick lick it? I was thinking about the periodic table, different elements, and
Is that
so
kind of like can we waffle it?
so I
Isn't
had
there already like a outline of the stuff that you can mess with, and then
Wait,
it gets
Matt.
to the stuff that you shouldn't mess with, to the stuff where you absolutely should not mess with.
So none of it you
I don't
should
think that's how the
actually.
periodic table is.
I'm pretty sure it
organized.
is.
I'm pretty sure it isn't.
What?
So I had
We need to make a new one.
I got things you can
You've
lick.
heard of science before, right?
Yeah, it's the stuff that you just do in beakers.
You can things you can lick
Reese's.
very safely. Gold.
Oh, I thought you were going to quiz him. Like you should mention things and then.
Oh, you
see
want
if
to do
he
it
can-
that way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, please.
Oh, okay.
Is it a
Yeah.
round table thing, or is it just me?
Well, no. I mean, I don't have. I don't.
But
I
I
didn't
think-
have
I
the
think-
whole.
I think I should abstain and
Yeah.
let you three.
Right.
See if
right.
he can lick this
All right.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
about
yeah.
Okay.
Cadmium.
Can Nick lick it?
Cadmium.
I'm thinking batteries
Cadmium.
too. Yeah, I'm
I
thinking
would say
probably
yes.
no. Yeah.
He's going to say yes to everything. So
Is that related to Cadbury? No.
That's right. Yeah,
That
let's
you
do
can
it.
lick.
Thallium.
Wait.
Are you going to tell them if they're right?
Are you going to wait till we get to the end and see?
Nick's
Okay.
dead. And thallium. Yeah.
Thallium?
Thallium. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Absolutely not.
Listen.
Okay, you
It
want to
never
see your
said- hold
daughter
on.
grow up, right?
It never said, "Is it safe to lick?" It's, "Can you lick it?"
you
Well,
can
you
lick
can
it.
lick
Can you
it.
lick it?
You lick
And
Yeah,
see
go
your child
around.
grow
Can
old.
you
Yeah, go
lick it
around.
and survive?
Thank you. Okay, thank you for spelling all of that out.
Yeah, right.
Because otherwise,
I don't think I
you're
need
dead,
to. It is.
and you can't lick the second one.
You're right. So you
How
have
about
to,
how about the polonium?
No,
No. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
you shouldn't.
And Alexander Litvinenko was famously killed. It was a assassination by just a tiny amount. It's a radioactive. So anything with uranium,
Plutonium.
radium, plutonium, you probably should stay away from.
Lithuanium.
How about What? Oh my gosh! Listen, how about cesium?
I was kidding.
Ooh, that one
No.
doesn't sound good.
Cesium.
Which one's that? Where is that on the periodic table?
It's in the soft metal area.
I'm gonna say you could lick it.
No.
No, I wouldn't.
Is
How
there
about, how
anything
about,
that
you know,
you can look?
how about this one?
Sure.
Yeah, this
you
one
said
here.
Gold.
How about sodium?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, you do not want to lick sodium. So
Not pure sodium. Right?
Sodium.
Not pure sodium.
Yeah.
cesium.
What is it
These elements violently react with moisture. So the minute your tongue touches them, your tongue's gonna like melt off. It's gonna.
Oh,
it's very
so
bad.
From
sodium
table salt.
Yes.
is made so that we can ingest it.
That's
How about
That's
magnesium?
with chloride. So sodium chloride, that is table salt.
and I'm thinking
But
of the
chlorine,
thing that's
Chlorine.
you should not lick.
Chlorine
Well, you
is
could just
a
sniff
gas. You
could swim in
you
it.
should not sniff it. Do not sniff chlorine.
Pure chlorine? No.
Oh, no one
No.
said pure chlorine.
just like the
And-
swimming
but
pool.
you
What
said
chlorine are we
chlorine.
sniffing?
Like the swimming pool chlorine.
Yeah.
But you said,
It's
we're talking
diluted.
about
Don't
magnesium,
sniff
right?
that either.
Was that
That's
one
not
of your?
Huff chlorine.
I mean, that was
please,
just me
no.
throwing it out.
The most unscientific science
Yeah, I
version
think
we
things
have.
that are safe are gold, silver, carbon,
Copper.
silicon, platinum. I mean, you can lick those things pretty. Yeah, you can
Hydrogen?
go away. Hydrogen, I wouldn't
I was going to say.
sniff hydrogen, but
No.
it's
But you
can
not
huff it, right?
I heard you say that.
I mean,
and
you
it
could-
was like
nitrogen-
something that we could do, and I thought,
can- you can
I don't
take-
think so.
Nitrogen?
huff. So it's a gas.
Yeah,
so
you have to.
you can.
I'm licking nitrogen
Our
right
atmosphere
now.
is like 70-some% nitrogen, so pretty safe. The noble gases, argon, helium, neon. Yeah, go for it.
See, I was
Oh,
right. There
you
are
go.
portions of it that are safe.
I mean, safe.
Yeah.
But you can't lick those. Those are smellies.
You get enough
Right.
of it in the air, you
Where's
just
that stink?
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
technically nitrogen you shouldn't
Yeah.
lick because if you're licking it, then it's probably liquid.
Oh, yeah. That's probably pretty cold.
Ooh.
Yeah. Same thing with carbon dioxide.
Brain
That's dry ice.
freeze.
Dry ice is carbon dioxide. That's about minus 80 C.
Your face.
Liquid nitrogen is about negative 196 C.
Yep.
So you shouldn't lick it.
No.
All right.
But yeah, no.
I think you're dead, Nick.
Nick is very dead.
I'm
No
He's a
superpowers.
superhero.
Maybe some of the EMs, the uranium, plutonium, polonium. Maybe you'll get some sort of a superpower out of that. But
I can
or just
guarantee you the
cancers.
radium would not because we have a whole test group of women who licked
Right.
their
That is true.
Right.
The
Their,
radials.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Radium
And it
paintbrushes.
was not
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
it's
not-
not a pencil.
Yeah.
And
They made,
they
like,
licked it constantly
For like
and
watches,
Yep.
like clock.
to keep it nice
like-
and fine tipped.
Wait, what?
Oh,
What is
well,
You know the
Radium.
glow in the dark,
And the-
the glow in the dark lettering
For
on the
watches.
watches.
and, that,
And they would
they
lick
were,
it?
They,
They would
worked
lick
in
their
a,
paintbrushes to keep it nice
They
and
worked in,
fine
like, a
point
factory.
because they're drawing the numbers.
And they would just get the contaminant
But
of it. Yeah.
it's a book called Radium Girls.
Yeah.
But they didn't know
And
it
it's
was.
like-
They
yeah,
didn't.
they
Yeah.
didn't know.
Same thing as lead.
Lead.
Lead was the other thing. Lead
I
was
mean,
in
they had
everything.
lead in
Plates,
makeup.
You talk
Yeah.
about
Kids'
cosmetics.
toys.
Right,
Kids' toys,
right,
right. And that was some
Well,
people say that were you telling me that, Georgia? But they think the incidence of people in carnival sideshows were because of
Oh, yeah.
lead. You know,
And
how
that's
much
why you
lead
don't
was
have
in our
that anymore.
environment.
Or how much when we reduce the amount of lead exposure
Right.
that
That's
we
right.
have, we've also seen the decrease in violent crime over
Right.
the years,
Yeah.
and people think that maybe possibly
Yeah.
something that contributed
And it
to
is
that
still
decrease.
a very real thing because
It is, yep.
they have to go in and test the paint in houses
soil? I mean,
to make
Flint,
sure that they
Michigan.
don't
I
have
mean, yep,
lead.
yep.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
like a huge thing for kids growing up having
Yep.
that exposure.
But all those
Right.
heavy metals, lead, mercury,
Now-
thallium, cadmium, those
Osmium.
are all
like we were
osmium,
talking about, Joe, you have
there
this
a table
telescope.
Microscope.
I mean microscope. I knew
yeah.
it was a microscope.
Yeah, you're right. In the 50s, 60s, like they would
yeah.
give microscope kits or other kits about, and it would have little pieces of uranium or things like that in it. So
And I
you
think-
could
And
get
little
these,
vials of mercury.
right,
And I
little
think
vials
the
of
one
mercury.
that
We didn't
we
talk about
have
mercury. Yeah.
On our shelf right
that.
now has some, right? Doesn't it have little things
Sure,
when we
I don't know
bought
if I want
it?
to be announcing that on the radio,
Oh,
but yeah, no, it
sorry.
does have a little. It has a very little piece.
Very
So
little.
uranium, I mean, like radium salts. This probably is uranium salts. We work with that a lot. They're
But
very
still,
low
as a-
emitters. They're not high energy emitters like
A
some of the
kid
other ones.
toy, though.
You're right.
You're
You don't
probably
want kids
fine.
because you're probably
you can lick it.
fine if you
Just
don't
grind it and huff
if
it.
you don't eat
lick
it.
it.
If you don't eat it or inhale it, you're probably fine.
Just don't grind it and huff it.
Right,
and
that's
then,
right.
and then there's also the woman scientist that, why am I drawing?
Madame Curie.
Yeah.
And she would just have like
She did, yeah.
on her desk.
Yeah.
she
What do you-
had,
wait.
or what was it that she had just like?
Was it plutonium?
I think
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
plutonium.
It was,
Just,
You're
like-
just you're
thought it was
motioning
radium.
like it's a big mountain.
yeah, on her desk she had this big mound.
Yeah,
of
like her lab
plutonium.
books are still so hot they can't be put in like a museum or anything.
Right,
Shit.
Like for
Because she-
view because they're so hot.
right.
Really? Dang. Just because she just.
Because it
They didn't
wasn't
fully
she was working-
it
understand.
wasn't known
Yeah.
that
No.
was a
I didn't know what that was. So I want to ask, because I think we're like at an hour and a half right now, so it's
it was
probably
like
time for us
radium
to
and polonium.
wind up.
Polonium. That's what she had.
Oh, okay.
Or, just
But-
quickly looking it up.
I have a question for you, Tara. So, what is there an example in popular culture of lab safety done right? It's more fun when
So-
it's done wrong, I would imagine. But is there?
So interestingly, I was thinking about this because I saw when you're scrolling through your streaming services and they advertise newly added, and they had X-Files, and I was just a little too young to watch X-Files when it first came out. We lived in the middle of nowhere. We only had one TV, no cable.
Yeah.
We had a giant satellite dish, and so I didn't watch X-Files. And I was like, I want to watch X-Files, and so I'm on the second season right now, and they've quarantined them pretty well, actually, twice now, and it's pretty impressive.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was one I actually thought of while watching it just a few days ago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, later on, Scully gets a little fast and loose with her use of gloves, and she'll clap her.
Yeah.
You'll see this a lot in movies. The actor express shock and horror will clap their gloved hand over their face. So I always love when they do that. So
Yeah. I think the thing in X-Files that I watched it when they were out was the molecular biology is extremely fast. Every
Always is
experiment is
fast.
accelerated. In there, they have it right.
Oh,
It is
cool.
actually
That's
what you
what
would
I've
do.
heard. Yeah.
But then it's like, it only took an experiment that would take you a couple hours. It's like 15 minutes later
It
they
was
got
like-
it. And it
it
was
was
like,
like-
hold up. No. I hope my
was
PI
like
isn't watching this because I can't do it that fast. Like, that's not how fast
hey,
it
wait a
works.
second.
So, right.
Scully did this in
Yeah, right.
15 minutes.
Joseph,
How come
it
it
took a
takes
whole
you
day. That's right. Yeah.
It's like a cooking show.
Yeah. That's right. Yes,
It's like
that's
the
right. Yeah.
magic of TV.
Yeah, they were
you
kind
know?
of there.
Right.
No, but X-Files is a really good example.
I do
think
feel
Contagion.
like they do
Oh, go
spend
ahead.
time like they in some episodes they do be like, all right, we're gonna go away for this, and then we'll get the result.
It was still not. It was still everything
But, like-
was super fast. No, it was even that was fast, right? That would take you many days, maybe. It was like kind of yeah. So,
I was like,
yeah.
yeah.
I used to watch it with other friends. I was in grad school really when that was at its heyday, so we would all get together on Sundays. And we would go, and we were all in the lab. We were all biochemists, molecular geneticists. So we would all just pick apart that,
Party.
and yeah, it was a party. Yeah, we would make baked goods. It was a fun time.
I think she was
Yeah.
making fun of you there, Joe.
I was going to say Contagion was,
was
also,
kidding.
I think the science in Contagion was really good. And touching face, you talked about that, touching the face
How
and
many
things. That
times
came
you
up.
do
That's right.
that
That came up,
in
and they were
one,
trying
like-
to contain. And you watch that. I think the last time I watched it was actually during the COVID pandemic.
Oh.
It was like, oh, this is radio, right? It was.
Very
But
upsetting.
that one did have really good. But you're right. In like superhero comic land, I really can't think of many
I think the
examples
point of it
where
is things went
that's
wrong.
Right, that's right.
Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of what was
Yeah.
good science. Like I feel like The Martian was good science.
Martian, yeah.
Even when they put
Yeah.
together the probe, they
Yeah.
were,
Yeah.
in the clean room and the
they
suits,
were
trying to
thinking
keep it as
about it.
sterile
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
possible. Like they did a pretty good job there.
Yeah, but that wasn't the plot wasn't driven
Wasn't
through
driven through the
a
science,
lab
like
accident,
right.
or-
And I think
or
that's
that
the
kind
whole
of thing.
point of a
Think
lot of pop
about-
culture is it's driven. It's
Yep.
make catastrophe, and now let's look at the
Or
aftermath.
think about 28 days later.
Oh right, animals. Yep, go ahead.
Oh no, and it
Yeah.
was the kids. I say kids. I don't know why. The protesters,
That's right.
and they want to free the animals,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was good intentions, but
The thing about it, and that's real serious too, because there's a lot of
12 monkeys.
yeah.
it's serious in terms of real practical. So animal facilities are locked down, limited access, and that's
and
part of our
multiple,
training.
like
is that
scanning of IDs,
Yeah.
like one ID
Yeah.
to get in,
Yeah.
and then where the animals are kept,
Yeah.
at least one or two
Yeah.
more scans,
And you're not
depending on
supposed
what
to
you're
let
there.
people in. Like you're supposed
scan,
to
one
wait. That's
person.
right. So you're not supposed to, and you're trained these things
So in
because of that
28
instance. That's
days
right.
Right.
That
Well,
was-
and it's
Yeah.
because of that, but also because like we have multiple animal facilities, and there's different levels of cleanliness.
Right.
And so if you go to the dirty one, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can go to the cleaner one. So you have to start from the cleanest and go down if you have to visit multiple. And so you have to keep track of how many times you've entered and left and everything as well.
And animal facilities have changed over the years.
Oh, yes.
So probably, the last 10 years, 15, they've gotten much more strict with access and things like that. So there were periods in time where animal facility, each lab had their own cages, and they would just take care of them. They would feed them whatever.
And what's that
it
a
was
real
not
thing
standard.
where like protesters would?
It would, yeah. It happened a lot. Yeah.
I've even heard
let out
at the
lobsters
university,
and
I don't
stuff,
know if
right,
this was real, but I remember hearing when they would do the scav hunt on campus for the undergrads that sometimes one of the things would be to get an animal from one of the facilities.
Wow.
And to really be alert.
Yeah, I know University of Pennsylvania, because I grew up in Philadelphia, I remember they let out all of the animals, and they were talking about how like traffic was snarled because there were like lobsters and sea creatures, like kind of walking across. It was like it's kind of cruel because a lot of these lab animals
now they're suffering and dying.
Were kind of their development, their genetics
out
isn't
scared
for
in the wild.
Like albino mice. They stand out so much that any predator is going to pick them off. So really, what kind of life then? Right. And these lab animals, as I said, especially with the conditions, why do you need them? How many do you need? Why are you raising them? But they are treated as well as possible. And so,
like certain types of food, you can't have so many. You can only have so many in a cage, but you have to have at least so many in a cage because they are social animals. So if you need to isolate them, you have to have a very good experimental reason why.
I see.
Interesting.
Oh, was it Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim?
Oh, I loved that.
Is that I read it. I reread it again a couple of years ago. Definitely stands up.
Wow.
I
should find that.
It's a good one. Yeah.
But I was going to say, every once in a while, we'll be walking through the tunnel and we'll find a rogue little crab that has escaped because it's food for the octopuses, I believe.
Wait, you have octopuses there?
I don't.
There's a facilities.
But
Joe, why haven't you showed me these?
Because they're not.
Yeah.
He's not.
It's not an aquarium.
Wink.
So I was gonna go back to quickly circle back to Madame Curie because I did look it up, and so 1899, 1902 was when she did a lot of her work, the Nobel Prize winning work. She just had a pile of pitchblende, which was this radioactive, more radioactive than uranium alone. It was this pile of ore. To isolate 1 milligram of radium. So she identified 2 new elements, radium and then polonium, which is named after Poland. She processed multiple tons of pitchblende, P-I-T-C-H, ore through boiling, dissolving, filtering, and crystallization. And so they didn't have proper shielding.
Dear Lord.
They handled the radioactive material with bare hands. They kept samples on their desks in their labs, in their lab coat pockets.
Gloves would.
It was very... it was heavily contaminated with radium-226. The research did lead directly to the 1903 Nobel Prize in Physics and the 1911 Nobel Prize in Chemistry, which caused her exposure to radiation. Her work did pave the way for cancer treatment and modern atomic physics. And as Tara was saying, due to the 1,600-year half-life of radium-226, most of Madame Curie's personal items, including lab equipment, clothes, and notebooks, remain highly radioactive and are stored in lead-lined boxes in Paris.
And how old did she live? I'm sure she had a lot of health consequences from this.
Yeah.
She's probably lucky she lived long enough to win 2 Nobels because you have to be alive to win a Nobel. And it's pretty incredible she lived.
And she's still alive today, correct?
Yes, she is.
She was
my heart.
She was 66 years old. She was 66 years old.
Wow.
Her death was caused by aplastic anemia, a condition resulting from a long-term exposure to radiation during her pioneering scientific research.
So she really lived older than I would have thought.
A lot of her work, and
She's
it's always
tough.
joked about, is that it was just who can get enough material, who can build a better scale. Because to measure kind of radioactive material, she was in a race with other labs around the world, and they all had big piles of radioactive material.
Oh my gosh.
And they were trying, and so who could measure the kind of very small, like I said, a milligram of material. I don't know what's happening over there. Nick is licking something. But yeah, no, it's super
It's not an ice
fascinating.
cream.
Yeah, it's not ice cream. It's not a rock. Yeah, so I think this was... Final thoughts?
Very interesting.
Yeah,
I think
lab
the Hulk
safety.
does the best job at
The Hulk. I mean,
Oh, there
definitely
you go.
lab violations there too.
Yes.
the initial one, yes.
Yes.
But after that, I think he learned his lesson.
After the initial one,
I think
Yeah.
a
I don't
lot
think
of
he did because even so,
Captain America was a
Yeah.
major lab,
Captain America.
violation.
Right.
Was it
Ethical.
ethically? Yeah,
He
but
was, yeah, I don't know. His
there was a
consent
whole team.
I mean, there was
pressured.
yeah.
Who they test that on? What was the
Nobody.
testing at? It was just like, we got a super serum. Let's go.
I thought they did test it before.
No, they didn't. Because
No?
they wanted to have the
Oh
perfect
no, it was
person. Right?
after that they started
Yes.
testing.
That's right.
it.
Yes. After it worked, then they wanted to make it again.
Yes.
So yeah, no.
So there's going to
Cap
be
was
we need a new superhero called Lab Safety Man.
Axolotl Man.
This guy
Or
sucks
woman.
already.
And it's
already
Axo
canceled.
Man and his sidekick Lotto
That's
Boy.
right. Yeah, Lotto Boy. They did science right.
I'm trademarking that. Nobody's allowed to take that.
We did science right, and now we're gonna coolest superheroes.
We should have ended this with a reading of Goodnight Lab.
Good night, lab. Yeah, you got it. Go.
That's in.
How can you
my
offer
office.
something
No,
up
right.
and not?
It's like we should end this episode.
We should have, I said.
Okay.
But I
yeah.
will recommend to anybody with children, if you get very bored of Goodnight Moon, you should find the copy of Goodnight Lab.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good way to.
And don't
wrap it up.
do self-experimentation. We talk about on the episode. There's been a few
Yeah.
episodes where we talked about the underground caves. Strifey went under there and participated in kind of time
Leave it to the
deprivation.
professionals.
You had
like
Barry
me.
Marshall, who won a Nobel Prize for drinking H. pylori to prove it causes ulcers. So people have, but that was controlled. It was documented.
We do
Yeah.
not recommend.
Of all
Yes,
of all
it's,
of the ones we've mentioned, that's
yeah.
probably the only one I'm semi-okay
That's
with.
the only one, yes. And he had a whole bunch of, he documented it. It was a controlled experiment. He went into it with consent.
Well,
it was, but yes, most
Stay
of the time
curious,
it's not.
but don't.
Yeah.
Take
yeah.
it
Like
too
the
far.
cat.
Don't lick it.
Safe.
Yes.
Just like the
Stay
There's a
cat.
safe.
difference
It'll be
between
fine.
curiosity and recklessness.
Yeah.
Latex is your friend.
Especially now, I think nowadays where people are trying
Or
to
nitrile.
reject science or science fact and, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do whatever, and I hear about this drug or whatever. Yeah, I think it's good to be curious. It's good to be and ask questions, but you just don't start testing things on yourself because the consequences.
Talk to someone
usually are-
first.
Yeah, I mean, and get opinions, and that's what peer review is about. kind of
Which
having a
does
fight.
make me want to put in a plug of, the whole health conscious people and whatnot, that the FDA does not regulate a lot of the nutraceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of your vitamins and other supplements are not regulated.
That's right.
So whatever they say is in it may or may not be. The amounts may or may not be accurate. And just please be cautious.
Yep.
There we go.
Very true.
There you go.
Tara, do you have anything else to plug?
That's what you just said.
That's why I said anything else.
No, I mean, my hair is pretty good. I don't need any hair plugs. So I think I'm good.
Nice. Nick, any final questions? I mean, you guys have a.
I think we've covered pretty much.
Did it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because what you said that the X-Files was. Yeah. But thank you for being here again with us,
Absolutely.
Tara.
Anytime.
It's
Just
a fun time.
We're gonna have you
always
back
come
all
back.
the time now.
We'll have you there.
I love it.
we like having return guests here. On that note, you have me, Joe.
Yeah, I got Nick.
We've got Nick.
Georgia.
We've got Georgia.
You got Mary.
We've got Mary.
And we went down some holes.
Yeah, you guys stay curious.
Some
Stay
safe holes.
safe. I say that every episode. Stay safe. There you go. And we love you.
Lick rocks.
No, don't. Please don't.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.